Hello guys, my name is Shuska. My friends call me Shoes. So if you're my friend, you can call me Shoes too. Even though that you don't know me, but it's fine. Depends on the date you're watching this video. I'm 23 years old, almost 24 next month. Which means that I'm getting a little bit older, but it's fine. I'm dealing with it just fine. No. So yeah, I would like to share with you guys my testimony, my story, whatever you want to call it, it's fine. How God, well, actually, how I became from a lost, depressed person to a worshiping leader in a church. Is that even possible? Yeah, God did it. So, just starting with this story, since I was little, like, I have always been curious about God. I always wanted to hear Bible stories and attend to church and, singing and worshiping and all this stuff. So it was something like within me, like was always connected to God since I was little. But as I grew up, I just left it behind. So I went to school. I was bullied because of my color skin, because I'm black. Also because of my nose, because it's not that tiny. It's a little bit, just a little bit big. You see, like God did it like that. And because at that moment also I had acne, so they used to call me cactus. That was really mean, but yeah, they did it. So I grew up with that really, really left me with that low self-esteem. I thought that I was ugly for a long, long time. I remember that actually I told God, like, why am I ugly? Like, why do I look like a cactus, first of all? Yeah. Like, I'm being real serious about this. I asked that question. Because it was really like I was hurt. So yeah, I went to college, and since I thought that I was ugly, I met a guy, and for me that was like the first guy that literally thought that I was pretty, not even beautiful, not even amazing, not even gorgeous, wonderful. I don't know, just pretty. But for me, that was enough. Because, like, as I said, I thought that I was ugly. So I was like, for God's sake, I need to be with that guy. So yeah, we hang out like for 4 years. So guess what I did? I wrapped all my low self-esteem, my insecurity, my pain, all of that into, or I wrapped it like with him, or I don't know exactly, into him or whatever, but it was not healthy. Like I felt secure, I felt loved, I felt, not lonely anymore because I was with him, but I was damaged inside. So after those 4 years, we went through a lot. It was a mess. After those 4 years, he cheated on me. So we broke up. So all that insecurity, like, just raised up again. Like, I was like, oh my God, I'm vulnerable again. And I didn't know how to handle that. I didn't know God. I didn't know that He was there to heal me. So I started to party. I started to drink alcohol a lot. I started to smoke marijuana. And actually, once I almost got intoxicated because, I was like smoking and I'm like, and I had to went to the hospital and all this stuff. But yeah, it was that happened like for a year. So after that year, I started to hear voices. That was, just the depression getting, the part of, oh, just getting there, depression. So I started to hear voices and that I was going to die, that I was not worth it, that I was not, that I was ugly. And I was like, yeah, no, you don't have to tell me that, depression. I know that. Yeah. So that was for 4 months. And I was tired of it. I couldn't sleep. I remember that I was afraid. Like, I was really scared always, like I was like, if I just fall asleep, I'm gonna die. I'm not gonna wake up the next day, so I'm not gonna sleep. So I was like, yeah. And yeah, after those 4 months of hearing those voices, I remember once, yeah, I remember that I went to my house. Like, I was coming from I don't know, was that university? I don't remember that good. But I just, get into the house and I dropped into my knees. And I remember that I was crying, and I'm so sorry if I cry. I just get emotional sometimes when I talk about it. But I just dropped into my knees, and I remember that I was crying, and I screamed. Like, I screamed. And I was like, God, help me, because I can't do it by myself. And I was crying, I was crying, and I was crying. And at that moment, now I figured out that I think that at that moment, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 33, verse 3, that says, I have it here, call to me and I will answer you and show you great and mighty things which you do not know. That day, that verse became real in my life, because I remember after that, like a weeks later, I had my first experience with God. Like, I remember that I was in my room. I couldn't sleep, so I started to hear a testimony. That's the reason why testimony is so important. It's so real, because it's real. Is what God, did to someone or with someone. And testimony can do a lot. Trust me. I'm here because of a testimony. So I remember that I was there. It was 3:40 Wednesday morning. I remember that real good. And I was hearing this testimony, and it was like everything just stopped. And I stopped I wasn't hearing, that voice anymore. I started to hear, like that voice that I was telling me. And this is what I heard. I heard it was like, if you follow the will of my heart, I will bless you, and my presence will always walk with you, go with you. But if you follow the will of your heart, I will bless you because I promised it to your parents. But my presence will no longer walk with you. I was so freaked out. And I'm being real about this because I didn't know, that was new for me. It was like my first experience, and I freaked out, and I was like, what in the holy world is going on? And I remember that I was, shaking, and I wrote to a Christian friend. I was like, hey, this is going on. What is this? And yeah, she explained me. And after that, like 1 month later, she invited me to church. I went to church. I went to an encounter, and I can say that was the first time I had, that was an experience, when I was in my room. It was like that experience you have with God, but it was like, I don't know. It was more spiritual, it says. But when I attended to that encounter, it was also physical. Like, I felt him. And it was so real. And I was like, oh my God, this is the real stuff. Like, God is real. Because I always been like, yeah, I know God. He lives in heaven and I lives here. Too far away. But no, he's closer than what we think. And yeah, since that day, I think that, no, I think no, I know. My life has changed completely. Everything. I can't even say how his blessings, and not only his blessings, just his love is just enough for me. Like, I was trying to chase an identity. He gave me that. I was trying to chase love. He gave me that. I was trying to feel pretty with world stuff. But he gave me something better. He told me, you are my creation. And if you are my creation, you're beautiful. So yeah, I love my nose now. Yeah. And yeah, so he healed me, and he is still working in me, into me and within me and and everything in me. And I love God. I can say that I definitely fell in love with him, and I would never, 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 ever change anything. Nothing. Like, I would never change the day I decided to burn again. Because I was Christian, because I knew God, but I didn't, I was, let's say, since that day, that was 2015, I can say that I was Christian, but until 2015, I was born again. And I was a born again believer, now living God's presence, he's just, his wisdom, oh my God, he's just amazing. And I just want you to know that if you if you feel familiar with what I just told you, God is real, and he is willing to heal everything. He's willing to take a broken heart and just create it again. And I can tell you that. And yeah, that's basically my story. I hope that this can help you at least to know that God can create an amazing person even though that you feel broken today. And yeah, God bless you. Bye bye.